Hey, Whitney Marie here with a Crafty creation. Today I am going to be working on two cards. The first card is for my brother and sister-in-law and their family. They live in California and I just want to give them a little piece of my heart. And since it's fall, I'm still going to be using some fall colors. I'm going to be using a little bit of green, some maroon, and some mustard yellow. And I also have some really interesting paper that I've recycled from, it was from a box. And so I'm going to be using that kind of paper. So let's get started. All right. Here I have that paper that I was telling you about. And I think it gives it this is going to give my card a really fun dimension, and it's going to make my card pop. And what I'm actually going to be using this for is for a tree. I'm going to send them a fall card, and I just got one of these little Studio G clear stamp sets, and it says fall is here. Now I also have another Studio G stamp set that I'm going to be using along with this. I'm going to be using this phrase, fall is here, fall is here, but I'm going to be using this leaf right here. And so I bought these at Walmart for $1. They were in the dollar bin. Great value. They're pretty sturdy, so I'm kind of excited about using them. This will be my first time to use Studio G stamp sets. So I'm going to go ahead and get my paper ready to be mounted, and then I'll do my stamping. So on the back of this, I went ahead and drew a funky looking tree, and it's a bare tree. That way I can go back and put my leaves on. And these are the colors that I'm going to be using. Because it's still fall, leaves are still somewhat green, but they're also changing color. So I'm going to be using that and then putting some brown ink on the edges to give it kind of a more dimension. So here I have my tree, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And this is the back of the paper, so it does not matter, you know, if you follow your design or not. So I'm trying to, but it's kind of doing its own thing. So there's my tree. It's kind of a odd looking tree. But I'm going to take my brown ink and just take an old grungy sponge and do some inking around the edges. There we go. Put that aside. Okay, next I'm going to stamp my background. My background is actually going to be red, and I'm going to be using a 4x4 card. So I've already cut and scored my card, and I ended up cutting it at 4x8 because, you know, you score in the middle and it'll be a nice 4x4 card. I like that. And you can see the light touching. Very cute. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to set that aside. Let it kind of dry out. You're going to want to wipe off your stamp. And I use baby wipes from the Dollar Tree. They work just fine. So now I'm just going to go in with my my paper, and you can either use your Gypsy, your Cricut, and cut out some leaves, or you can just freehand some leaves, and that's what I'm going to do in this case. I'm just going to freehand a few leaves to put on my tree. And I'll get back with you as soon as I'm finished. Stuff off my hands. I'm going to be using this brown cardstock to stamp my image on. Oh, well, there is a cute little leaf stamp. I could have used that. I didn't even see that when I saw the acorn, but not that one. Okay. Line that up. Okay. I'm going to do two. I'm going to stamp one in brown. Make sure I get it real good. Okay, and then I'm going to go back and stamp it in black. This way I can layer the card and use this as one of my layers. Now if it looks really good, okay, it looks really good, and my brown you actually can't see it very well, but my brown you can't see these little lines. Inside the fall there are these little lines to make it look like wood, and so I think what I'm going to do, I was going to cut it out and use this as a double layer, but I think I'm just going to do another top layer in black and just be done with it. Line it up as best as you can. That is cute. So it gives it a little bit of brown background, and I think that turned out really well. Kind of like that better than my original idea. And I suppose that's really the whole idea behind crafting. You go in there with one idea and then you come out with something so pretty. And it may not even be your original idea. So I'm going to cut that out. And trim that down a little bit. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is start assembling my tree, and I believe that haven't decided exactly where I want to put this, and it's not square. And for those who are new to my channel, the chirping in the background is not a bird, it's actually my dog. I have a Yorkie that his voice box is broken. So that's what you keep hearing. Just going back around it with some brown ink, like so. Okay. Now I'm going to have to find a way to adhere this, and I want to say that I might be able to use my ATG gun, but I don't want to push down too hard. I think that might be too hard. Well, another thing that you can use for a really good adhesive is glossy accents. I've seen that used several times in some other YouTube videos. And it'll act like a really good glue. And I want this kind of off-centered a little bit. Okay, gotta figure out where I want this. No, I like it up there like that. But this is going to be on pop dots, so it's kind of the same level height as my, there we go. Now I'm just going to put my leaves here and there. Now that I have some leaves placed on my card base, I'm going to take some pop dots and put that on my sentiment. Now, most of these pop dots, the back are not sticky anymore. They're really old. So some of the tabs have come off of the backing, off the adhesive, excuse me. Wow, I'm really tongue-tied today. Fall is here. I'm going to add some more little leaves. There we go. Fall is here. Now, to go ahead and set this, I'm going to zap it with my heat gun and then adhere it down to my card front. Line it up. So this red piece is cut at 3.5 square, and then the mustard is cut at 3 4/4. Now, just to go along with our brown theme, I'm just going to brown the edges a little bit here. Okay. Now my tree is coming up a little bit since I cut it. There we go. Okay, now I can safely put it on my card and it cover that up. So I'm going to zoom in here. And because I don't want to smash my tree down anymore, I'm actually going to just put my adhesive directly to my card. And I'm sorry for that line. I can't seem to get that out of my shot. There we go. Whoopsies. Well, here is our card. Just going to give that a good crease. Thank you for joining me for another crafty creation. I hope that I have inspired you, and if you want to create something and show me, post it on my YouTube page, and I would love to see what you've come up with. Have a fantastic day and a wonderful fall.